Hey, welcome to the Sharpe Show. It is 8 p.m. on the East Coast. A little bit late tonight. I know sometimes I come on late, but I have been out for a bit trying to get a bunch of things done, as you could probably imagine. And I have some updates for people who have been paying attention. And for those who haven't been, you may say to yourself, Larry, you are wearing one of the old school shirts. I am. This is the old school Larry Sharpe for Governor shirt from 4 years ago. Some of you may still have one. That's awesome. I hope you do. They're still viable. You can still wear them. They're still accurate. So if you want to wear them, please go ahead and do so. I had to be wearing one this evening. I'm often wearing the newer ones. If you want to get one, you can. The newer one, LarrySharpe.com/sharp. If you would like one of those cool shirts, please feel free. But as always, what I ask you every single time and what I keep doing, like, comment, share. I know I say it like all the time because it does matter. That's how I get past the horrible shadow banning that I've had. It has driven me crazy. If you want to support our show, please head over to our sponsor, libertarianism.com. Click that link right there. Head on over there, sign up, send it over to other people. It's a lot of fun. If you want to go there, it's great. Please do that. That would be amazing. So thank you all so much for trying to support me. I do appreciate it. So I want to cover a bunch of things, if I could. I've been a little bit silent on certain things, waiting for things to happen. You guys probably know that when things look bad or negative, I always talk about due process, right? Always talk about due process, an important part of who I am. So when I found out that a bunch of my signatures weren't submitted, some people in my campaign really thought, sabotage, bad immediately. And I was like, I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. Let's see what we can do about it. So just for those of you who are concerned, I have them now. These are literally signatures, thousands of them that were not submitted. So I wasn't making it up. This is a real thing. Thousands that were not submitted. But the good news is I have them now. That's the good news. I actually have the signatures now. So now we can see what we can do about it, but we got them. So it's good. So perhaps there was no negativity and maybe it just was an error or mistake or whatever. All good. All good. I didn't use anybody's name. All good. Got them. We can deal with that now. I didn't make it up again. So you guys know I'm not making it up. Here it is. Flip it through. That's them. Thousands of them. Thousands. So I wasn't making it up when I was saying that actually happened to have them. And I was talking you about the other people who were having trouble getting paid. Well, I also now have all of their documents. Here are their W-9s, as I mentioned. W-9s and timesheets. So I have them now, too. So now I have her. This weekend was a good weekend for me to wrap some things up that I was concerned about, which is why I've been quiet for a couple of days, making sure I can get everything. I got everything. We're good. So those of you who are still looking to get some payments, I now physically have everything. Now, the cutoff date was last Friday, so I hope you already submitted your stuff. If you didn't submit stuff by last Friday, sorry, you out of luck. That may be bad, but I gave till last Friday, way longer. I now have everything. So now the team will go through, figure out who gets what, and we'll come up with a system for people to get. I'm trying to make everybody whole, as you guys know, my story from last time. Now I physically have all the goods I was talking about last week, which some of you were like, what's he talking about? Now I have them. So we have the things. We'll move forward. That is very positive. We can move forward. If you want to assist in making that happen, there are two ways you can if you care. One of them is to volunteer. Again, those you don't know, this is a volunteer piece. A lot of people volunteering to help go through these things. Please go there, LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. And if you want to help donate to make this stuff happen, LarrySharpe.com/donate. Please click there if it's going to help. If you feel like you want to help, please, that will be amazing. We can finally move forward and make this stuff happen. So, Larry, are you going to be on the ballot? Yes, that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to be on the ballot. We now have, what will I say? I can't give, some of you keep asking me, I can't tell you everything. Clearly, there are literally people who are going out of their way, spending lots of money, trying to keep me off the ballot, paying lawyers and lawsuits to make it happen, paying for lawsuits, thousands of dollars to keep me off the ballot. Look, If I was a Republican, I would think the same. I wouldn't want me on the ballot, I guess. I don't know, because you might look bad or something. I don't know. But they're trying to get me off the ballot. I get it. They're dropping cash on it. I get it. So we are too, obviously. So now we have some good ideas. I can't tell you them. So if all people saying, Larry, tell me details. I'm not going to. Clearly, I'm not going to. So please stop asking. If you want to ask, keep asking. But I'm not going to tell you. Just you're going to be yelling into the void. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing. Of course not. That's between the campaign and our lawyers. And we're going to be moving forward. So yes, we have many ideas and ways to make this happen. We feel very comfortable and very confident. We won't know for sure the way and style things will wrap out probably until late July for sure. So we have a lot of stuff to do. So we're good. We are rocking and rolling. Please help out to the best of your ability. That would help. In addition, some other cool stuff. Going to be at Freedom Fest coming up here in July. Going to be out there with Andrew Yang. We're doing an event on stage next month, which will be awesome doing that. And I should be going back on some, let's say, some larger podcasts coming up here in the next couple of weeks also, which will also help bring some more attention to the campaign. So we are moving forward in a lot of these different ways. So I hope I'm trying to give you guys a bunch, right? A bunch of things. So yes. So Pete says, can we details on what the challenge is about? No, Pete, I love you to death, brother. I can't give you anything until after. Then I can do it after I can tell you. I can't tell you anything now, Pete. I know everybody wants it. No, I cannot. But you'll find out. Yes. Charles says, Larry, you rock. Thank you. I got it. Yes. John says, in case you're wondering, you are still shadow banned on Facebook, but YouTube needs to limit. Yes, I've been shadow banned off. I'm growing on all my social media except Facebook. Facebook continues to block me. Continues to block me. Yes, absolutely. So it's bad. YouTube's getting better. Absolutely. Charles, you need to go on Tim. I was on there already, but I may be going on again. So you never know. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let me see if I can go down here. Grab a couple more. Tom says, tell me it's over 50,001. Here's what I will tell you. Here's what I will tell you. We had more than enough signatures. How about that? That's what I can tell you. That's as far as I can go, Tom. More than enough. That's what I will tell you. We had more than that's an absolutely accurate statement. More than enough signatures. That much I can tell you. The rest, we'll see. I will let you know later as this moves forward. But I have lots of enemies who are trying to stop me, if that makes any sense. I have many who are trying to stop me. So I have to be very I have to stop. I have to be very clear on what I can and cannot say. So I hope that was clear for many of you so that you're clear on what we're trying to achieve. If you can help, please help out either by volunteering, picking up some merch if you can, or by donating, please. It's helpful. And for those of you who are looking to get made whole from petitioning, I have everything now, as I mentioned. It's all done. So we can now go through and start seeing who should get what and when to get it. To be forward with that of you, if you are looking to be made whole, it won't all be this week, but checks already went out this week. So some of you are gonna be like, how come he got paid and I didn't? Because they were on the list at the time and they got a check this week and yours will come in a week or two. That's how that will work. And if you want to be mad, you can be mad, but I'm doing my best to make people whole. So that's how that's going to work. And we'll just keep moving as we can possibly move. So I do want to cover two things which are not necessarily campaign based, but they're American based, I guess. And one of them is more New York based, but maybe the entire country. Father's Day. Father's Day, generally speaking, for me, is not a big deal for me. Generally speaking, I'm like, whatever. It's Father's Day, another day I can hang out and do things and not pay much attention. Holidays aren't that big to me unless they're family holidays. Individual, like my birthday, I don't really care. I don't really do much of my birthday, that kind of thing. It's not a big deal for me. But my daughters like Father's Day because they get to say, yeah, Daddy, we love you and stuff. And that's great. They usually say it, but they get to say it extra on that day. But when I bring up Father's Day, some of you might have seen on my social media, I talk about lack of fathers. For those of you who know me, I lost my father when I was a kid. My father died when I was like 12, when my father died. So I didn't have a father as a teenage boy which if you've had that happen, you know how difficult that is. You also know that our prisons are filled with men who didn't have fathers for teenagers. You know this to be true if you spent any time in our prison system, our jail system. You know it to be true. So losing fathers is a huge part. It's not the answer. Don't get mad at me and say it's the only answer, but it is a huge part of the bad things that are happening in our society. And what makes me angry about New York in particular, across the country, but New York in particular, is how bad the family court system goes out of its way to pull fathers away from children. And I bring it up often, but I can't bring it up often enough because literally there were 3 debates, 2 Democrat, 1 Republican. Not once was this brought up. Not once was it mentioned. Last time I ran in 2018, no one brought up fathers' rights at all. No one did. I was the only one who brought it up. No one other than me brought it up. No one else did. I'm the only one who brought it up. You might go, why, Larry? It's so important. They talk about the family and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you why. And it's going to sound crappy because it is, but I'm going to be very forward. If you are a parent, but this is mostly fathers, it beats up mothers too. So I don't want to say it doesn't hurt mothers. It does. It just focuses more on beating up fathers. If you are a father who was beaten up in court, you don't have any money. Why? Your money went to lawyers and goes to your family. You don't have money to give. You're not a big donor. That's how it works. And it sounds terrible. You might go, Larry, all these guys care about is donors? Yes, all they care about is donors. That's why they raise $8 million, $20 million, and literally have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw at me to get me off the ballot. Well, you can't raise that kind of money off of guys who are getting their butt kicked in court and then and by lawyers. They don't have any money. So why in the world would you support them? I support them because it's the right thing to do. I tell their story because it's the right thing to do. It matters. Everybody's rights matter all the time. Even if you got your butt kicked in family court. And usually when you get your butt kicked in family court, it wasn't even your fault. Don't get me wrong. I want to be clear. There are deadbeat dads. 100% that they exist and they're bad guys. But here's the thing that most people don't get. The court system right now in New York State is set up for the bad person to win. The first person who lies first and often usually wins. So if you're a deadbeat dad, you're usually okay. The system lets you slide because you're lying. You're saying that your ex-wife is a floozy when she's not. You're saying that, she abused you when she didn't. You're saying it's not your kid when it is. You're doing all those things. The court is buying it. There's no punishment for your lies. And the deadbeat dad gets away. Now, the non-deadbeat dad who tells the truth, who doesn't hide anything, who shows what he has and wants to help, he gets hammered. He pays for the deadbeat dad. That's what actually happens in our system in New York State. He pays for it. So if you're a dad who hides everything, oh, I don't have any money, I got nothing, I'm lying. Well, you get rewarded, but you're the one who goes, oh no, look, I want to help my kid. Here's my stuff. Lawyers go, how much money you got? Well, I got 50 grand. Great. Guess how much this cost? 50 grand. What a coincidence that is. You tell your actual compensation how much money you make, they suck the hell out of you. You lie, they can't. And there's no punishment for lying. I'm not joking. They don't punish you for lying. Not particularly if you're a woman, they don't punish you. They don't. They go, okay, you lied, whatever, move on. They don't treat it as perjury. So I bring this up constantly because it matters. Larry, that can't be the only reason. Well, you're right. There's a second reason why politicians don't support fathers. Because they're worried that they may feel like they're beating up on women. I don't feel that because I'm not. I accept that this court system also beats up women and supports deadbeat dads. It does. And while it's beating up women with deadbeat dad, it also supports the crazy woman, ex-wife, and it crushes the good dad. It does both. The system is broken. It just beats up far more men than women, but it also hurts women too. It's a bad, broken system. And I've talked, and it's on my website, 3 different ways to fix this broken system that I'm going to give one person credit, which some of you are going to be shocked when I say it. There was one other governor candidate who was actually going to fix this system. And that candidate, who was a governor, was Eliot Spitzer. I know some of you are laughing. But yes, that's actually true. Eliot Spitzer was the last governor candidate and governor who was actually going to try to fix the family court because he realized it was broken too. Former DA, not former attorney general, he was like, this is broken. We got to fix it. And of course, he got in trouble and had to resign in disgrace, so he couldn't do it. However, he actually thought of it. So somebody did. Since him, no one except me has talked about this issue. How in the world am I going to fix New York State? How are we going to fix New York State? With an army of broken fathers, broken men. And don't forget, behind every broken father is broken kids. Broken kids, broken fathers, across New York State. And here's the worst part. Those fathers who get broken, many of them actually wind up breaking the law. And then they become felons. So now you're a broke felon. Wow. Wow. Who cares about you? Nobody. And here's the part that I'll be a little bit upset about. Here's what I'm upset about. For you guys who are part of that movement, and many of you are, last time in 2018, you didn't show up for me. I showed up for you. You didn't show up for me. What I mean by that, you didn't vote for me. You went back to your old days of voting, or you didn't vote at all. And you know what I'm talking about. You guys part of this movement, you did not show up for me. I was there for you. I brought you up. I talked about you, and you guys didn't show up for me. This year, you better show up for me, damn it. Show up for me. Get your butt to the voting booth this November and show up for me. I've been talking your story for 5 years. No one else has. You owe me now. Show up and vote for me this November. If you're a father who's been beaten up by the family court system, I'm the one telling your story. Show up this November and vote for me. I know you can't give me money because your money went to your kids and to the lawyers. I got it. You can't give me money. I got it. No worries. You can show up and vote for me. That you could do. Tell your buddies who are in the movement to show up and vote for me in November. I know some of them can't, some of them are felons. I got it. But they got family and friends who can. Have them come do it instead. Father's Day is an important day because it recognizes how important the father is in the family. And again, I want to be clear, it doesn't mean the mother isn't, this is not exclusive, right? Families matter, right? And fathers matter tremendously. You want to have fathers in children's lives. It matters tremendously. If you don't have them in there, you find that the chances of someone being a successful, healthy person go down. And this isn't just men. It is men. But think about this. This is really important. I know I'm going to stick on this, and I have in the past, but it does matter. If you watch your parents, the people who, when you're young, they are your image of adulthood, of womanhood or manhood or parenthood. They're your image of what the future is. And you watch them lie and stab each other in the back and fight and become vitriolic. And you wonder why they can't have the relationships. And you wonder why they can't have the relationships. The court system is encouraging them to lie to each other, to lie in front of their kids, to have their kids punished. Well, of course they don't have good relationships. Why does your son and daughter have anxiety? Why can't they have good relationships? Duh. Why don't they want to get married? Why don't they want to have children? Look in the mirror. And it's because of what the court did to you. I'm not blaming the people for this. Again, the liar in family court is rewarded. I tell this story often, but I got to keep telling it because I need people to hear it. When I first heard these stories, I didn't believe them. I thought the guy telling me this, he's probably some bad guy who got screwed over, is mad, he's probably a bad guy. That's what I thought when I first heard the story. Then I heard that story 3, 4, 5, 6 times in 6 different counties across 2-3 weeks. And I was like, this is real. Then I had my team do research. It's true. All the stories are true. I was shocked. All the stories are true. Horribly true. and who gets wrecked in the end. And I know some of you might go, well, Larry, look, they got married, though. They got to do what they got to do. Maybe you're right. I'll even accept that argument if you want to. Fine. Be hardcore. They got married, pay for their mistake, whatever. Fine. What did the kids do? What did the kids do? How do they deserve? Why do they deserve? What do they do to deserve it? They didn't do anything. They didn't sign a contract, agree to something. They just got born and got screwed. So even if you go down that road, which I don't, because systems make people bad, but it's fine. Not always, but often they do. They make more people bad. That's maybe a better way of saying it. Worse systems make more people bad. There are some people who are going to be bad no matter what. There is the deadbeat dad exists. The crazy wife exists, right? They exist. But the point is, more people are going to be bad with a bad system. That's just how it works. That's human nature. The kids are being punished. They're being wrecked. And you wonder, well, how come the kids can't do well in school? How come the kids can't have relationships? Why are the kids all on drugs? Why are the kids all messed up? Well, because you've got a system that says it is better, and I'm not joking, it is better to have the father work 3 jobs. I'm not joking. Work 3 jobs, never see their kid, but write checks to the mom. Then for the kid to see the dad. That is our current system. Horrible. Horrible. I didn't have a dad when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I ran to the Marine Corps to find positive male role models. Luckily for me, the Marine Corps was a place where I found tons of positive male role models. Lucky for me. Not everybody gets that luck. Not everybody has those opportunities. I did. I'm blessed in that regard. Good for me. Good for me. I found that. Lots of young men don't find that. I would have done anything to have my dad. I would have easily, happily, eagerly accepted a broke dad. Totally broke. Can't afford to do nothing but sit in the car with me and talk. That's how broke he would have been. I don't care. I would have taken that over no dad. Give me the broke dad. Take him over no dad. Let me go one step further. What if you don't get divorced? What if you got a deadbeat dad who doesn't get divorced? He just stays with the woman, doesn't get divorced, stays with her. Does he have to have a job? Does he have to do 3 jobs? No. So because he divorces her, now he has to get 3 jobs? Well, Larry, it's not 3 jobs. It's just a percentage of your income. No. They count potential income. And they don't care if COVID hits. They don't care if your job gets removed. They don't care if you get injured. None of that. They don't care. Judge doesn't care. Give them more. Because here's the worst part of the whole thing. The state makes money off of your misery. Yes. So all the money you spend, a cut of that goes to the state, like a credit card company. They get a cut. The state gets a cut of all the money you pay. So judges looked at it and go, wait a minute. How about how much money you making? They get judged on this. Yeah. So it's not about putting the kid with kin. It's about getting money out of the mom and dad, usually out of the dad. That's what it's about. That's family court. You wonder why they don't want to get married. So when I bring up Father's Day, offering the idea of fathers matter. Fathers matter. So do mothers. Again, this is not exclusive. But too often we go, it's the son and the mother and daughter and the mother. Yeah, and the daughter and the father and the son and the father. What kind of men is the daughter going to pick when her mother spends all her time saying what a piece of garbage her father is? What kind of man does that son think he is when the mother spends all her time telling her son what a piece of garbage his father is? That son sees himself in that father. And when mom goes, your dad's a piece of garbage, son goes, I guess I'm a piece of garbage too, and acts accordingly. When mom says your dad's a piece of garbage, the daughter picks piece of garbage man. We see it every day. I don't have to have a degree in psychology to figure that one out. Neither do you. You're watching it every day. You're watching it. And the government gets more cash when they pull your kid away and put him in foster care. The government gets cash from the federal government. State government gets money when they take your kid away from you. I will walk away from that for now. I'll take some comments on it. But I get a little, aggressive on this. I get a little aggressive on this because it bothers me so much, because I feel like I'm screaming into the void sometimes myself. I feel like almost no one else is paying any attention. So let me grab a couple of these comments if I could. I know some of you care about this. So Larry, my friend, come back to you. I will. Absolutely. I will be coming back 100%. Yes, absolutely. The scientific libertarian says Larry Sharpe is unstoppable. Yes. And if he were here, he'd stop the Democrats with lightning from his fingertips and firebolts. Ooh, from the current Republican Party. Ooh, I like that. Oh, nice. I love that. Very nice. Like that. Yes. Nate says, would rather have all my options on the ballot and the best man, woman win. Nate, I agree. Sadly, how our system works, and most people don't know this, they go out of their way to make sure there is no competition. And it isn't just New York. New York is the worst, but there are others that do it just terribly. They just don't want us on at all. So, yes. Ryan says, all we ever hear is libertarians, third parties can't win. I'm in a Republican-dominant county in Democrat New York, and all I can say is the taxes are still too high, the roads still suck, and society isn't civilized enough, even though I prefer uncivilized. Yes, I agree, Ryan, 100%. Yes, 100%. Yes. So, all right. John says, the system of signatures, I failed to find anything in the Constitution, earlier state constitutions. Is there a better way to manage ballot access? I get a Republican cannot have 50-page ballot with having no choices for governor. How would Larry Sharpe manage ballot access? I think you want to have a low barrier. You might go, Larry, well, then it goes crazy. California does it with their recalls. They have like, 50, 60 people on the ballot. I'm not saying we should go that far. But what they're asking to do is to get 45,000 signatures, which means at least 50,000 signatures, in 6 weeks. It takes a week of prep before and after, right? Because you've got to literally label every single page has to be numbered. I'm not joking. And there are thousands of pages. And at the number each one of them, a cover page for each one. Every single thing has to be put. It's a week of admin to get started and then to wrap it up. So you actually have 5 weeks. That's 10,000 signatures per week. If you got people working 5 days a week, that's 2,000 signatures per day. A good person gets 100 signatures a day. If you're really good. If you're not that good, you get 25 to 50. So if you could get really good people to get 100 signatures a day, I still need 20. I need 20 really good people to work 5 days a week for 5 weeks. Who has that friend? Who has that many friends? Who could, one, be that good at doing it? Two, can take 5 weeks off to do it? Nobody has those friends. So you have to have a massive amount of money to pay these people. If you're paying them $10 an hour, but it's more than that, but just $10 an hour. I got 20 people at $10 an hour. That's $200 an hour times 8 hours a day. Keep doing the math. I got to raise 6 figures to make this happen. It's impossible. Lower it. Make it realistic. Or give it more time. Can you get volunteers to do it? Sure. But give it 6 months. I'm not joking. Open the idea to start, say, last November. And you go until, I don't know, May. So you get 6 months to do it. 6 months, you could do it. Right? 6 months is only 10,000 just per month. That's a doable amount. That can be done with volunteers and friends and such. 6 weeks is far too little. 6 months, we got a shot. It can be done. 100%. The number 45 isn't necessarily that much. It's a lot, don't get me wrong, but time is crazy. More time. So either give more time or give a less amount or give a flat amount of money. Well, Larry, can you buy your way on? Yeah, because if you can raise enough money, sure. If you're wealthy, you get on almost anyway, right? If you're wealthy, you go through one of the big parties, you just buy your way on. So wealthy people get on anyway. So make it a number like, I don't know, if you could write a check for $5,000, $10,000, which is a lot of money, but it's not crazy. It's doable. You could get 10 friends to give you $1,000, or 20 friends give you $500, or 100 friends give you $100, right? You could do it. It's possible to do if you're running for a major line. So something like that, or more signatures but more time, less signatures but more time. Any of those would work. You want to make it to where there is a barrier. You don't want anybody just walking on because they're bored, but you don't want a barrier that's unattainable. You want a barrier that's low. I was actually okay with the 15,000 that we had last time. We had, I think, was it 8 weeks before or 10 weeks? I forgot. We had like 10 weeks or something like that over the course of the summer, and we had to get 15,000 signatures. It was doable. People got on the ballot. It was achievable. It was tough, but it was achievable. So and even like that would work. So I hope that answered. So yes. All right. Let's see. Brennan says, I loved your videos and debates with Republicans, Democrats. Makes it clear why I'm libertarian. I like Giuliani and the white guy Democrat. I forget his name. He was pretty left in some ways. Well, he's Democrat. He's supposed to be. Tom Suozzi is the guy's name. Democrats are supposed to be left. So I'm not surprised. Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's see if I can keep going here. Let's see. Where am I? Ryan says, my uncle got the S end of the stake in family court. I'd have him comment, but he committed suicide. Oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me walk down that road for a minute too, if I could. The amount of people who are crushed by the government to the point where they think there's nothing left is that, right? And then all of a sudden they commit suicide. If you know people in the Fathers' Rights movement, every single person knows people who've been through two separate events, either suicide and or jail. Yep. Suicide and or jail. That's how the system works. It's a terrible system. It does not work well at all. You're completely correct. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not surprised. Brian says nobody seems to care about anyone anymore. You know, Brian, you bring up a very valid point. You know, people always assume that when I support something, it's because it's personal to me. No, there are things that are personal to me, right? Like corrections officers, I support. My father was a corrections officer at Rikers Island. So yeah, corrections officers, that's personal to me because of my father. But Second Amendment, I live in New York City. I don't own a firearm. Divorce court, family court, I didn't go through that. I've been married 20 years. Vaping, I don't vape. Cannabis, I don't smoke. I don't even drink. None of these are personal to me, but does it matter, right? Your rights matter, Brian. What you like matters. What you want to do with your life matters. And I want you to let me do what I want with my life too. I mean, that's the point, right? So if I'm going to sit there and go, no, leave Brian alone. He wants to do these things. He wants to live his life this way. Stop bothering him. Stop making him pay for everybody else. Stop making him do what everyone else tells him. Let him do what he wants. And then Brian does what he wants. Good for you. Now, I hope in return when I go, hey, I'm going to go do my thing, you go, leave Larry alone. Let him do what he wants. This is the issue. Government should be, and our courts should be, sadly they often are not, but our courts and government should be to protect the individual from local bullies. There will always be bullies. That's human nature. You're going to find them, right? You're going to have them. The goal is you don't want the bullies to be the government, particularly a state or federal government. This was to come in and protect you from that local bully. So when people start saying, Brian, you can't do this to your property. You can't do this. The local guys stop you. You go, it's my property. What are you talking about? You petition to the state government. The state government walks in and goes, yeah, Brian, why are you guys mad at him? Brian's doing what he wants to his property. Leave him alone. That's what's supposed to happen. We're supposed to care about each other, though, but sadly, we often don't. It's true. So, all right, I'm sorry. I'll keep going here. I apologize. Yes. Jason says, Democrats set the system up to fail on purpose. Broken people are easier for them to manipulate and control. Well, for sure, that's true in New York. I'm not sure if countrywide, but I can tell it's true in New York. That's for sure. Daniel says, I voted for you, Larry, and will again. Thank you, my friend. I need more of them. Darius says, I'm a fatherless wreck, though. You know, I'll tell you a funny personal story on this one, Darius. My wife and I met in high school. I thought she was amazing. She thought I was some guy. She was not impressed by me. Why? I was a 17-year-old punk. That's who I was. A guy who didn't have a dad, didn't have much direction. It's true, I didn't. Just wanted to be a Marine. That I knew. I wanted to. That's not true. Wanted to be in the military. I didn't know it was Marine Corps yet. I figured that out once I got to the recruiting office. But I wanted to be in the military. I knew that. I was 100% on that. I wanted that. That's all I knew. But after I found the positive male role models that I needed as a young, man, as a teenager and a young man, 17, 18 years old, I became a better person, a better man. Right? That's common, right? So if you have good role models around you, male and female, obviously. In my case, I had decent female model in my mother. I did not have a good one. I had no father. So yes, I didn't have that in the case of males. So, yes, I understand you. I do. I understand you 100%. So, all right, let's see. Patty says, when my ex and I went to family court, we watched parents act like children in court. Yes. Fighting about their children with no concern for their children for hours. We went out with a plan and agreement that our kids wanted. The judge thanked us for being adults and understand what. Oh, Patty, thank you. So good. I wish I heard more stories like that. I wish I did, but you're right. It's all over the place, fighting like cats and dogs, right? Just trashing it. Yes, absolutely. Daniel says, thank you so much for being the only one talking about this. I thank you. Yes, we have to. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, all right. See if I can grab a couple more of these. Let me, if I could. I want to move on to another piece that was officially today, which is why I want to bring it up, but actually happened yesterday, and that is Juneteenth. Juneteenth, or what I like to call Emancipation Day. Some people call it like a second Independence Day or Black Independence Day. I'm not happy about calling it Black Independence Day. And I get why people do that. I understand why they do it. I don't like it. I want it to be called Emancipation Day. And the reason why I want it called that, and again, you'll call it whatever you like. I'm not, no rules here. I'm giving my opinion on this. I like it to be called that because then we can all share in it. If it's Black Independence Day, well, it's kind of my day, right? Which is nice. I like having a day, but I'd rather us all enjoy the day. And this goes into something which is going to be similar, but you'll understand why. And that is, you probably noticed, some of you have noticed, there's another GSM flag or LGBTQ flag. It's another one they have. And it's different than the rainbow flag. And you might go, well, Larry, why do you care? See if I can find it real fast, if I can find the new flag. And why does it matter? Or what do you care about whether there's some new flag or not? There's a reason why again, this is just my opinion, which some of you will agree with and some of you won't. But this is, if you remember, some of you may remember this. If I can get this piece up, can I open this up? All right. Yes. Most of you remember, I'm sure, this flag, which is the rainbow flag, right? You all know the rainbow flag, right? Perfect, right? But there is another flag, a more recent flag that has come out, and that is, if I can find this one, that is this flag. So you may have seen this flag. I don't like this flag. And you might go, Larry, you're being phobic. No, not at all. I'm giving my opinion on the flag. Why don't I like this flag? This is going to go into Emancipation Day in a second, so I'm going to bring them back. I like the old flag better because in my mind, this is emotional only. In my mind, the rainbow flag represented everybody. It was all the colors of the rainbow. So we were all together, right? So I felt, and this is emotional, I felt like it was also my flag, right? Like, I mean, I'm not gay, but so what? Most people thought of it, oh, it's the gay flag. So people thought of it as, when it was first coming out, people thought of it, oh, it's the gay flag. I didn't think it was the gay flag. I thought of it as the inclusive flag, right? We love everybody to include gay people. That was how I thought as I was coming up, as we were seeing the flag. And to this day, years, decades later now, for me, I still like the flag. And I've flown it before. I like the flag. The new flag to me feels exclusive to me. And it's just my opinion and my emotion. I feel like the rainbow flag is also, like I'm included in that flag. I can fly that flag too. We're all together. I feel like the new flag is not for me. I'm not saying anybody said that or did that. I'm telling you my emotion. When I see that flag, I think, oh, that's like their flag and not my flag. Like I can't go there. Like I can't be one of them. That's how I feel. When I see the rainbow flag, I'm like, let's go together. Let's hang out. We're good. That's how I feel. That's the emotion that I get from the flag. So how does that have to do with Emancipation Day? Because I want you all to enjoy my day. So I want to call it Emancipation Day. I want the rainbow flag for Emancipation Day, for Juneteenth. That's what I want. I don't want Black Independence Day, which says, I get to have it, but if you're not Black, you don't get to kind of hang out with us. I don't want that. I want to be inclusive. It's why you will often hear me not use LGBTQ+. I will often use GSM. GSM is gender and sexual minorities. It is a more inclusive term. I want to be more inclusive. That's what I want. I don't have any data to tell you this is right or wrong. I don't. I wanted to bring it up because I wanted you to know where my head is on this and why I think the way I think and what I like. I prefer Emancipation Day or Juneteenth, both work. I don't like Black Independence Day. I like Emancipation Day. We can all enjoy. We should all be proud that we ended slavery. That's a good thing. Particularly as libertarians, we should think that's an amazing day, which I happen to agree. That's an amazing day. We should all be proud of that we ended it, and that was the right answer. Let's celebrate Emancipation Day. Life is good. We did a good thing. Yep, we made some mistakes in this country, of course. We did some good things too. Let's reward ourselves for the good things we've done. We ended slavery. That's awesome. Let's be happy about that. And I want everyone to enjoy in that. And that's kind of why, because it's Pride Month, and I see the rainbow flag versus this new flag. Look, I'm not going to be mad if I see the new flag. I'm not like, I'm not going over there. I'm telling you my emotion. And maybe because I'm older and I still remember the rainbow flag, and I grew up in New York City, which it was much more open, even in the 70s and the 80s, right? Even the 70s and 80s is much more open to the gay community in New York City compared to many parts of the country. To this day, still much more open. I prefer the other flag. I prefer Emancipation Day. I prefer to be more inclusive in our holidays and in our celebrations and in all our months. And I know that there has been a trend, maybe is the right word, into actually being more exclusive, into saying, no, this thing is for me or for my people or my group or my population. And I get that. I see it happening. I like to recognize the special groups. I don't have a problem with that. I'm happy to recognize them. I think we should even celebrate them. I just don't want to segregate them. That's what I don't want. I feel like if we segregate special groups, that we just encourage more separate groups if we keep segregating them. We should celebrate them and respect them. Absolutely, right? I remember in New York City here, I think it's in I'm trying to remember where it is. It's someplace in Queens, maybe Brooklyn. I'm not sure. There's a Polish American museum. No, maybe it's actually Nassau County. I've actually forgotten where I went to a Polish American museum, and I thought that's great. A Polish American. I'm not Polish. I don't have any Polish background in me, but I thought that's great. It's a cool museum. But I didn't think that I couldn't go there. I didn't think that they were happy to have me in the museum. Oh, good. A guy came in. Wants to know about Kosciuszko? There's a couple other Polish Americans. That one I remember is probably 15 years ago. I remember that guy. There's a bridge named after him here in New York. So, I mean, I remember these guys, right? So I remember some of the stories and the things about that. It was some things about Poles who fought in the Revolutionary War and stuff like that. It was great. But I didn't feel excluded. I felt welcomed. Come learn about these cool Polish Americans. Awesome. I'd like us to be more like that. And I worry that our current trend is not that way. Our current trend is, this is for me, not for you. You're not one of us. I want us to not do that. And I brought that up because of Juneteenth. I don't want Americans to think of it as a Black holiday. It is in a way. Don't get me wrong. It is. But if you're not Black, you should also be happy about it, right? You should also be happy about it. I hope that made sense. I don't know if it did or not. Let me grab a couple more comments if I could. All righty. Chris says, generally, moms who struggle to support their kids get an S-ton of government subsidies, food stamps, housing, daycare. Dads who struggle to support their kids also get government support. 3 hots and a Cotton County jail. I wish you were wrong, Chris. As I said earlier, everyone I know in this movement knows other men who either or both jail or suicide. Yep. That's what happens consistently. And again, when I first heard it, I didn't believe it. Absolutely true. 100% true. So Dan says the flag should be offensive to you. The LGBTQ is co-opting an occasion that was specific to slavery. Huh. I'm not sure where you're going with that. Are you saying that because Pride Month is the same month as Juneteenth? I'm not sure where you're going with that. Not sure, but it does bother me though. It does. Joe says, I agree. The rainbow flag felt to me as covering it. Yes. See, that's what I felt too, right? I felt the same thing. I felt like, okay, it covers it all. We're good. Like, it doesn't matter what your gender or sexual minority is. You're covered, right? We're all covered, Joe. All of us are covered in that. I liked it a lot. Yes. So yeah. Brennan says, isn't Juneteenth the day slaves were freed? It isn't. It is and it isn't. Slaves were freed as the Union Army came around, right? That's and officially the slaves were freed during the Emancipation Proclamation, right? When and many people don't know this, so I'll give you a little bit of this. When Lincoln freed the slaves in during his Emancipation Proclamation, he only freed the slaves in the slave states that were fighting the Union. Now you might go, what are you talking about? There were 2 slave states in the Union. Was it? I think it was Maryland and Kentucky. Maybe I think those were the 2 slave states. Some of you will know that, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure it was those 2 states. I'm pretty sure it was Maryland and Kentucky. I think they were slave states who were fighting for the Union. Why? How could he do that? Because he was actually accepting. Some of you don't know the details. He was accepting that slaves were property, and he was saying, because these states are in rebellion, as the commander-in-chief, I can do whatever I need to destroy the enemy's property, right? Their ability to fight the war, property. To do so, I will remove their slaves. They are free. Now, the slaves in Kentucky and in Maryland were not fighting the Union. So those slaves were actually still slaves because they weren't fighting the Union. So he didn't have the ability to give humans freedom. He didn't have that ability. His ability was to destroy the enemy who was fighting the Union. So he destroyed their property by saying they are no longer slaves. So officially, he didn't end slavery in the South. He freed the current slaves. So in reality, in theory, could the South after the war have brought more slaves into the South? Yes, because the war would have been over. They could have brought slaves back in. Slavery wasn't ended. The property was destroyed by no longer being slaves. So officially, those slaves were freed at that point. Juneteenth represents the day that Texas, which was the furthest western Confederate state, when in Texas they were told, slaves are free. When they were told, that's what Juneteenth represents. That was the day those slaves in Texas were told, you're all free. You got to go. The Union Army moved in and said, you're all free. And they're like, oh, that's Juneteenth. So I hope that was clearer, Brandon. I did a show on it. If you guys look, in 2019, I did a full show on Juneteenth, details from beginning to end. If you care, go to Google, go Larry Sharpe, Juneteenth. You will find a separate just on that. Yes, I think it's 2019. Hope that answers your question at least. Yes. So, Dan says, but hey, it's more holiday pay for me, so happy Juneteenth. No harm to me. Good, Dan. Thank you. Welcome. Enjoy the day, right? Enjoy Emancipation Day. Yes, I love that. Jim says, thank God you didn't end up being a squid. For those of you who don't know, squid is a term that Marines use for Navy personnel. We call them squids. So yes, that's a thing. So yeah, I hope that was good. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, all righty. Let's see if I can keep going. Let me grab a couple more of these. I do appreciate all the comments, guys. I really do. I appreciate it so much. So, all righty. Let me. Christine says, I don't like Juneteenth because Lincoln was a tyrant that violated state sovereignty and human rights and caused a war that resulted in over 1 million Americans dead to bring the end of slavery. Celebrating Juneteenth to me legitimized the tyranny of Lincoln. I know a lot of people who don't like Lincoln, right? I know. What I'm going to say is you should, you don't have to, you should judge all leaders by their contemporaries, by their peer group. And when you think about the people around Lincoln at that time, compared to others, he was a good president, right? You can find fault with him, of course, yes. But I mean, people ask me often, Larry, who's your favorite president? And I will often say George Washington. George Washington, oh my God, he was a slave owner. He did the Whiskey Rebellion. Why could you possibly say George Washington? I'll tell you why it's George Washington. George Washington stepped down from power during a time when nobody did that. Like, leaders didn't do that. Literally, there was a war in France over that happening. There's a war in Britain over that. People are fighting all over the world. You don't step down from power. That wasn't a thing that his contemporaries, that his peer group did. And he did. He's the first guy to go, yeah, you're the boss now. I'm out of a country. Didn't happen. That was a very big deal, even though I can still say he was a slave owner. And so were many of his peers. Now, something crappy he did was he didn't free his slaves when he died. At least Jefferson did that. So can I say he was imperfect? Yes. But I'm going to be mad at him? No. I'll point out his bad parts. But if he doesn't step down from power, we don't have a democracy. It's that simple. What if he said, no, I'm the king now, and the troops follow me? And they probably would have. He was our first commander-in-chief. They probably would have followed him. So that's why. So not liking Juneteenth because of not liking Lincoln, in my view, points the finger unfairly. That's my opinion, Christian. And you have every right to feel what you feel. My opinion. It points the finger in the wrong place for two reasons. One, when you look at others around him, Lincoln wasn't that bad at all. Not at all. I mean, they got Andrew Johnson, not bad. The presidents before and after were terrible. I mean, just Andrew Johnson, his guy who replaced him, was the first president to ever be impeached. Andrew Johnson gave the slave owners reparations. So, comparing him to Lincoln, Lincoln's not so bad. And if you look around the world was still full of tyrants. In Europe, most countries were run by kings and emperors in the 1860s. Think about that. Most of the world was still run by kings and emperors. So I'm just saying, give the guy a break compared to his peer group. That's what I'm saying. I guess that's where I'm going. But the second piece, Juneteenth is still a day we should be proud of. Christian, we got rid of slavery. That's still good. Whether you like how it happened or not, I know some people don't. Still good, though. Still good. So, yes. Anyway, so yes. Let's see if I can go down here some more. Let's see here. Brandon says, South Park had a flag episode about how you can't divide people because the flag looked racist and Chef won. I remember that. That was actually a pretty good episode. I do remember that one. Yes. I remember that. Yes. Yep. All right. Let's see. If I grab here. I'll ask to somebody else, not to me. Okay. Shelley says, Lincoln was described as an autopsy as dark and swarthy. Words you describe a black person. There are many others who were presumed to be white, but were in fact black. I'm not sure where that's coming from. Sorry. Mike says Delaware. Thank you, Delaware. There we go. Thank you. Not Maryland. Right. Maryland. Thank you. There were Delaware. And thank you, Mike. I knew it was two. Thank you. Those are the two. There we go. Yes. I knew it was two of them. I appreciate that. Tim says we are all flawed, even maybe especially Lincoln. Lincoln too. Absolutely. So's every president. So am I. All of us are 100%. And all I'm saying is we should judge. We should. And again, you can judge people any way you like. On you. I'm not going to judge you for that. I'll give you my opinion. That's it. I think you should judge people by their peer group. That's the issue. Their peer group. Look around, see what everybody else was doing, and now compare them. Are they crappy compared to everybody else? They're probably pretty crappy. Are they good compared to everybody else? Probably pretty good. So, yeah, I do think that part matters a lot. That's my point, right? I think it does matter a lot. I don't just want to, punish people. So, Brian says, squids, jarheads, grunts, and zoomies. Yes. We actually used to call the Army guys doggies. We used to call them that too. So, yes, absolutely. All of that. Craig says inclusivity must by definition include all. When you start to list specific minorities, now you must list all minorities. The original pride flag was abstract. The update calls out specific groups. You're right? And that's the issue, right? That's why I don't like the LGBTQ, because now it's LGBTQIA plus. Wow. Why is that? That's the terrible thing. You added the plus, because now if you add something else, those guys are secondary. And is the L more important than the G, than the B, than the T? Which, I mean, just, and then what if I don't be a plus? I want to get my own letter, right? So, I mean, it's crazy. I don't like the term at all. I prefer GSM, right? I use it often. You guys hear me, I use it often. Gender and sexual minorities. Done. It's inclusive. We're all in there somewhere, right? And that's good. And it shows that, you know what? Just because you're a minority, you're still part of the team. You're still part of the team, right? Even though you're a minority, you're part of the team. And we all got to be part of the team. That's the most important piece. We're all going to be part of the team. Christine goes, Larry's flawed. What? It is true. I wish I was perfect. I wish I would. Well, no, I don't. I do wish I was better sometimes. But yes, I am still, yes, I am just a guy. So I want to ask, as always, guys, like, comment, share, as I always say. Please support my sponsor here, libertarianism.com. Click on over there. There's cool class on libertarianism, on happiness, on how things matter. You get cool swag. You can get it for free if you take the classes. If you don't, you can buy it if you like it. There's cool stuff there. It's really great. Please do that. If you want to support me trying to move forward and do some damage here in November, help me out. LarrySharpe.com/donate. If you want to volunteer, if you want to buy a cool shirt or bumper sticker or yard sign /shop. All of those are good. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for today. I appreciate all the time you gave me. I will see you all very soon.